I've been looking for a affordable wireless XLR to convert a mic when I do shows into something wireless, and the current device I've got is running on 2.4 gigahertz, and if you know anything about that, you know that that doesn't work very well in public. So I went and picked up a super cheap product off TEMU, which looks like this. You've got your part for the mic, and you got your part for the receiver. And it's pretty simple. You just press and hold to turn on. You'll see there. It'll give you a readout of the channel that we're on. It'll show you that it is sending signal. It tells you in the bottom right that we are on mic mode. There are ways to change that, and then the one thing that's important is if you press the power button, the same button you used to turn it on, you see it start to flash. You can go up to 5. No, it's volume 6, sorry. And we'll do the same with this one. You'll see there it's on the same channel. There are ways to change that channel, and we're not going to bother with that now. What I did discover is changing the volume up and down doesn't actually change any noise that it introduces. But what I did find was when I was running it into my current setup, because I've got a lot of compression, because I had a much softer mic, it was adding in hissing. So you can hear now that we are talking on a Mackie dynamic mic, and we are now going to flip over and see how different this sound is when we plug in the wireless. Now we should be getting signal. I've had to move back a little bit, and you're probably going to hear a bit of hiss. Yeah, there's a little bit of hiss there. So that's on volume 6. That's already too much. I can see by the level. I don't want to talk so loud that distorts anything. This is now on volume 0. Volume 0. I think the level was a little bit higher than this. This is now volume 2. This looks a little bit higher. This is now volume 1. This looks roughly where the signal was on the cable. So you can see that hiss there. Now I'm going to go back to the other mic, and here we are back on the corded mic. This is, once again, this is me speaking on a Mackie dynamic microphone, talking through a generic XLR cable straight into my mixer. No post-processing. It's just a clean channel, and all I've done is gained it up so that I'm getting a reasonable level, and then I copied the gain and applied it to the channel with this on. So we are now going to put this back on the microphone. This is me now speaking on the Mackie dynamic microphone, now using the wireless TEMU product for super cheap. This is, once again, this is me speaking on a Mackie dynamic microphone, talking through a generic XLR cable straight into my mixer. I did a walk around my house. Obviously the settings were not correct, so there was hiss, but I think for the sake of just seeing that you can get some range out of it, it's pretty cool. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. We'll see if there is any dropout. Now the last system I used on the 2.4 died right around here. There's 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Don't mind me, I'm just checking a wireless system. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Hey hey hey, in the bedroom. The studio is through that window. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. I want to see if it works. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. I think the last thing I need to try with this, if I'm happy with what I hear, is to actually do a gig. Alright, so gig has been done. All I can say is that the M1 UHF microphone system worked really well. I usually turn the devices on and off, you know, after each set, and I actually forgot to do that. And I got to my last set and it looked like I still had full battery. So I thought, let's just leave it on and see what it looks like by the end. And by the end, you'll see there in the previous video, all I had was like one block missing. I'm not sure how long these are supposed to last. I think it's something like 5 hours or 5 to 7 or something. I was able to do a 3-set gig, 2 sets of 45 and 1 set of an hour and a half, and no issues. I think right at the beginning in my first set, there was one little interference, but it was one of those UHF, those little noises once, which you can actually hear if you scroll back to when I walk around the house. You hear it once or twice when I walk around, but like I said, the walls here are really thick. The mic system worked really well. There was no distortion, there was no hissing, and I had in-ears in as well. Would I recommend this to people? Yeah, I would. UHF is a lot more reliable than 2.4, sometimes even 5.8. The one thing I did discover is when you store the device, you can accidentally turn on those the power buttons, because they aren't flush with the body. They stick up just a little bit. I mean, I'm being really pedantic now. So that's only one thing to watch out for. If you do go ahead and get something like this, just make sure you've got a nice something to put it in so you don't accidentally turn it on. Have a good one. Just wanted to share that with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.